Okay guys, welcome to the lake. We got a bit of a breeze out here, so I decided instead of going over there by the lake where it's prettier, I will go hide in the trees over there. That way there's no wind noise and it keeps me warmer too. We had a sudden drop in temperature. It's been in the 80s and then it dropped down to 44 or something like that. It's enough to be annoying and not really want to go outside and sit around for a while. But anyway, what we're doing today is we're setting up that same antenna, that whip antenna. We're going to set that up and give it a field test out here and see what we can do with it. Okay, so all we have here, and I made a video where I tested this at home, is we have a 17-foot whip. And I want to talk about that later because there's two whips out there that I know of. There's an MFJ and a Chameleon. I happen to own both. And the MFJ has a lot more play in it. As soon as I bought it, got it home, it had some play in it. So I don't know, I'm going to do a little test and let you guys know, but this one is very tight. I didn't get paid for any of this stuff, but this one is tighter than the MFJ. Okay, and as you saw, I made 4 radials. They're connected to one spade type connector. What I do is they're 17 feet, so we're working 20 meters with a whip, and that's it. Radials, whip, that's it. Mtn Topper. Okay, so I've got my coax going. I think it's a 40-foot, nothing special coax. All I'm going to do is extend this. I happen to know that I am going to extend all of this out except for one section about halfway. And it should tune very well. Okay, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't want to be going up and so near these trees. But like I said, it's kind of windy, kind of chilly. So I'm going to stay back here and kind of hide in the trees and operate from over there. So in my last video I showed you how I made these radials. I basically just soldered them straight to a spade connector, and then I put some heat shrink tubing on it, and then I marked it with a laser printer, my little laser labeler, so I wouldn't forget. Now my question is, how tangly and what kind of a pain is it going to be to undo this and put it back up? Because that's usually something that annoys me, is having to detangle wires when I just want to get up and running. Let's go find out. When I was at home, you saw me in the last video, I was able to get it to 1.02, 1.03, pretty much 1. The best that I can get it today with the same setup is 1.3, 1.34, which is still good enough. But it's weird that I can't get it better than that. I actually tried putting these radials up. You know, I tried to lay them across the table and across, and I tied it. I tried to do that and that made it worse. I know you can raise your radials and that can make a difference, but I'm still a little disappointed. I thought I could come out here just like I did at home, pop off a 1:1 ratio, and I couldn't do it. 1.3. I might raise it up and just see if I raise the whole thing up a little bit and see if I can do better, but that'll probably make it worse. But let's give it a try. Okay guys, I just spent about 12-15 minutes trying to get that SWR down to 1.02 like I had it at my house. I tried a lot of different things. I tried bringing the radials to the ground instead of having them up high. I tried taking the tripod down one that's got another section on each of the legs. I tried that. Then I realized, well, maybe it's the trees that are messing it up. I mean, how come it was at my house it was so easy, but here it was very hard? So finally I moved it out over there away from the trees as best I could. You know, I'm afraid that thing's gonna blow over right on that road and wham. And finally I got a 1.04. I can't explain exactly how or why I took it up and down. 1.06, that's very good. I'm very happy with that. I just wish it hadn't taken so long. If we're gonna be doing QRP, I wanna be able to get a very resonant antenna and get going. And we are resonant at 1.06, something like that. Lakeside, the wind is still creeping in here, still a little bit cold. Every now and then I start to sweat when I'm walking around, and that makes me real cold. But anyway, 14060, let's put out a CQ and see what happens. No antenna tuner. We've got a 9-volt Bio-NL battery, the Mtn Topper MTR3B. We have a speaker, we have a little volume control. All the stuff is in the description. Links are in the description. Notepad, I'll be using my logger, and the Pico paddle, PICO. Okay, 14060, here we go. Okay, now I will check the reverse beacon network just to make sure I'm getting out there. At least you know, I really love the RBN. Just type in reverse beacon network, spot search, and then type in your call sign that you're looking for, and it should come up and tell you what's happening within minutes. Look at that. Tons and tons of people are hearing me at 25 decibels, 20 decibels. I'm doing very well. Okay, here we go. $579. Main. He's QRP 5. Okay, that was really good, really good. He was 5 watts, I think, if I got that right. There was a lot of QSB. He was fading in and out, so I wanted to keep it short. I didn't want to get in a big conversation. I don't know what that is. That sounds like him, but Lebanon, Maine, I think. ME, is that Maine? I'll look it up and it'll be on the screen. Okay, I called CQ maybe twice, and this resonant antenna, I'm so proud to say that. It took a little work to get it 1.0, but I was a 579 to another QRP station, 3 watts to 5 watts. And I'll show you the map where I'm at, but let's take a walk. I like to just enjoy the moment. This lake has some really nice spots. They have a whole bunch of day, you can't actually camp here. There's other places for that, but they got these day spots and they're all over the place. So I'm gonna have lots of beautiful scenery to shoot from while I'm down here. This water, typical lake water. Over there is a fishing house. Well, it's a dock, and it's public dock. You can just walk up there and fish, and they have a room on the inside with heaters, and you can fish on the inside too in the winter. Pretty cool. All right, I want to make at least one more contact and prove to you that it worked. My only downside is it took a lot longer to get that resonant than I was hoping. I was hoping it would be as fast as last time, and it wasn't. All right, let's make one more contact at least. So I use Hamlog. I think I don't remember if I had to pay for it like $1 or something, but I use Hamlog to record my logs. Pretty easy, and then later you can export it to something else and then import it somewhere else. Someone's calling QRL asking if the frequency is free. The frequency is free. So I'm going to try to answer this person, even though he should have been able to hear me. You can't hear me. I'm going to move on to another frequency. Hey, where are you? KG8? KG8HZ? I thought you were there, buddy. There we go. Man, that's loud. loss. He's having trouble. That's okay. QRM. That's okay. No problem. So somebody, I can't hear the person, but somebody was stomping on us. He can hear, but I can't, which is weird. You can't really call that a contact because you have to exchange. Okay. I might have been going a little too fast. I should have matched his speed, but I'm already set at, I think, 17 words per minute. Anyway, he said there was QRM. That means somebody was, that I can't hear, was stomping on him. It's kind of weird that you can be talking to somebody and like this, and they can hear somebody and you can't, or you can hear somebody and they can't. So, or sometimes you can both hear them. It's weird. Or sometimes they can hear you and neither one of you can hear them, but that's just how it works. But I don't even know where KG8AZ8Z is. I'll have to look it up. All right, guys, that's a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna pack it up. It's getting a little bit chilly here as it gets dark, so I'm gonna pack this up, and I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy about all this. I just wish it hadn't taken so long to get that resonant, but there's just so many variables, and that's why messing around with resonant antennas is difficult. But that whip right there, it's easier because you can, with one hand, you can push it up and down if you've got the correct radials, the right length and all that. I happen to have cut, for my next video, I happen to have cut 40 meters radials, and I have a coil for it. I have an MFJ coil. I'm gonna be playing around with that. I'm gonna test it in the backyard, then I'll come out here in the field. We'll go somewhere else to test it. But anyway, lots of fun, guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about this radio. I don't recommend this radio unless you really know what you're doing, because it needs so many accessories. It needs a speaker, it needs a volume control, obviously it needs a key, it doesn't have an SWR meter, it needs a resonant antenna, or it needs 9 volts instead of 12. It's kind of a pain in the butt radio to have. It's cool that it's small, but it ends up not being small because you end up having to have all these accessories, right? So yes, it's a fun radio, but I call it a novelty, really. I wouldn't recommend this radio for most people, just unless you really know what you're doing and you just really want one. It's a great radio. I like it, but I actually have more fun with my Elecraft KX2 with the tuner in it. You just tune it up, but I'm having fun with this too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, think carefully. Don't just run out and buy this because I've got it or somebody else has it. It is a pain, and it has all these accessories, and you end up having to do a lot more tweaking. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's really small, you know? Yeah, you can put a 9-volt battery, but when I tried that, you know how fast that thing ran down? The battery went, woo, like gone. And so that's why I got this bigger 9-volt battery, because the little square 9-volt battery, it just didn't last very long. That you have to remember to keep this charged. Also, this takes a charge, so you got that battery to work. You just have a lot more to worry about. It's a cute little radio, but I'd call it a novelty. You know, if you're gonna buy a radio, go get something else. I mean, your first radio is what I'm talking about. Go get something a little beefier, something easier to use, and then later on, if you really love collecting, then buy this radio. That's my 2 cents. All right, now I happen to have brought this rig. I actually bought this Rig Expert. I already brought this, so I decided to use it, but this Rig Expert I'm going to be experimenting with because it's a lot smaller. I can carry it in a smaller case, and then it was also a lot cheaper than this one over here. So I'm going to be using this Rig Expert. There, I had to take the top off. I'm going to be using this Rig Expert antenna analyzer, and I'm going to be doing a lot more resonant antennas using that one and coils, and because they're easier to set up and not have to mess with trees. I'm still going to do the trees, you know, but for now I'm interested in that whip right there. So I'm going to put a coil on that. I'm going to be using this to get it resonant, and I'll be showing you guys this and how to use it. But there's already videos out there, you know, on how to use it, but I'm going to be playing with this. And all right, guys. So I buy these on Amazon. They're a little expensive actually for a piece of plastic, but They're little wire winders, and they're, you know, they come in packs of 6, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to get some. You see, this is what I did last time. I take my radials and just very gently wrap them around. Not the best wire winder in the world, but it's better than throwing it in the bag. It got a little windy and I got a little afraid, so I put these rocks in here to kind of hold it down. See, the wind wants to knock it over. And as far as, you know, everything goes, you don't need this. You could get one of those. They have these mounts that go on the ground that are probably even more effective. I actually have one from my old super antenna, which I might use. You don't have to have that, but it's real nice to have, you know, in the car, throw it in the car. But all of it packs down to this notepad. I don't need that big analyzer in there. I've got that other small one, but all of it goes nice and neat, pretty much in here. And the cable, that's it. The entire radio station packs up to about like that. And it could be smaller, but I'm not trying to impress anyone.